So, out again. This time, it's my 50th birthday today. Happy 50th birthday to me. And so, I'm going to discuss several outings in this episode, but I'm starting off with the one on my birthday.
Okay, I'm kind of frustrated because I had two shots that I think should have been gimmies. So I set up a stick over there, and now I'm going to shoot it. I would say it's probably 10 feet away. Oh, I think my scope is off. That's what the problem is. It's shooting way to the right. Let's try it again. It's shooting way to the right. I think my scope is off. Okay, I'm out for squirrels again. Try my shooting stick this time, see if that helps. I have dialed in my scope again with the new pellets, my Barracudas, hollow points. I forgot my boots, unfortunately, left them at home, so I got Crocs on, which means I'm gonna have cold feet maybe. But that's okay. I'm out here. It's foggy, interesting morning. I'm at my spot, so I'm gonna start moving slowly and quietly.
So, I found a spot to sit. And I picked this place because when I had gone for my birthday and everything kind of went off, I did have two shots at squirrels from this tree, so I thought this would be a great location. And as I'm sitting here, you can't really see it because of all the leaves. I did notice that a squirrel was coming down the tree to the right, and you really can't see it in the leaves, and you can hear in the background periodically. You're going to be hearing some gunfire because the pheasant season is open, and there's a lot of pheasant hunters on this property, Fort Boise WMA, and so you'll hear lots of shooting. Right around 10 o'clock they can start hunting, and so you can as soon as 10 o'clock came, I started hearing some shooting, and they stock birds there. And so anyway, as I'm just patiently waiting to see if that squirrel will present a shot for me. The problem is, you can see there is a bunch of brush right in front of me, and so that's going to probably impact lots of things. I see the squirrel. You can kind of see I'm starting to get ready to think about shooting. I'm trying to trace it as there's a log out there. Pretty soon you'll see the arrow pop up where the squirrel is. You won't be able to see it though, unfortunately. I tried to zoom in and no such luck. So, got the safety off. And I missed. And well, you could kind of see a little motion of it running away. That's all I had for today though.
Out squirrel hunting again. This time I brought a chair. There's hardly any leaves. And I'm going to just sit up and sit quietly in one spot until the end of the hunt.
So what's really fun is, in this particular instance, I wound up bringing a lawn chair, so I just sat in it, and I was staring in the trees, and to my utter amazement, after being there for quite, maybe 10, 20 minutes, I just said, I'll be a monkey's uncle, because I saw a squirrel. It was just sitting there. And unfortunately, I don't have really great footage, but I attempt with my GoPro. I did a little zoom in. You'll just see once it stabilizes you'll see just there, that little darkness right by there, you'll see the squirrel moving. I hit it, and I knew I hit it, and it hit bad, and so I watched it run up the tree, and then it fell. And I couldn't capture that on the video because, again, I'm not using anything more than my GoPro to do this. But I noticed, I was watching, and it was mortally wounded, but it attempted to crawl away, and I just wanted to make sure it can dive into a hole or something, so I quick ran over, and I went up to it, and I saw it in the thick brush there, and I quickly dispatched it with a shot to the head. It was maybe 5 yards in from there, and that was the end of that squirrel. And it turned out to be a really nice male, you'll see, for obvious reasons, fox squirrel. And seems like I shot a lot of males this year going through it. And so, and the shot I had went in the front shoulder, and you could kind of see how it came out. It was like on an angle. It came out midsection. So I probably, as I did the post-mortem when I cleaned it, it was through the one of the lungs, and then it didn't really puncture the intestines or anything. So it was good, really good shot. I was really happy with it. Then as I'm sitting here, I get back and I just kind of sitting around, and it didn't take long before I saw another, and you really can't see it there because of how far away it is. And so that is the next squirrel that I wind up targeting. And so try to see it through the scope and decide whether or not I could take like a 60, 70-yard shot, which I felt was it's well within the capability of my air rifle, but it's not within my capability as a shooter. So I try to get as close as I can. Squirrels are very tough, and they can take pretty bad hits, and those of you who have ever hunted them will know what I'm saying. They can survive in crazy ways. So here I put on the stalk, and I try to head over to where this squirrel is. And I had an idea of which couple of trees it was, but I literally spent a good, maybe 30-ish minutes, maybe even a little bit more, and I finally captured just a small glimpse of him. And you can kind of see where I'm pointing the rifle. I'm trying to line up on a shot and see, but every time I moved, it would just, and those of you who have hunted squirrels before know what I'm about to say, is they can kind of just crawl over to the other side. It's really handy when you have more than one person there, but I was here by myself today. So what you do, the strategy is you keep spinning around the trees, and you'll see a few times, you'll see how I bob my head back and forth trying to catch the squirrel in a different way. You'll see how I kind of go one way and then another. You see how I'm doing that? I'm trying to see if I can capture a glimpse of the squirrel, just the edge of it. The trick I've learned over the years is you actually don't hunt. You don't look for the whole squirrel. You look for parts of the squirrel as they lean off to one side or another in a limb. And so I did that. So after doing that a bit, I finally see the bugger. And you can see I kind of line up the shot, and I hit it. And here you can see it a little better. The squirrel's right on the edge. I hit it, and eventually it just holding on for a little bit, and then finally it falls, and you can see how it fell. And as what I didn't show in this footage is I actually did shoot at it one other time, and I thought I missed it, but in fact I had body hit it, and so it was probably on its way to dying anyway. But then that second shot, I clopped it right in the head, and that was the end of that. And so that was all the squirrels I got this round. Headshot again. So after my 2-squirrel outing, I came back the next week with my friend Eric and my new Gamo .177 caliber pellet gun. and Eric was using my .225, and you'll see we both got shots. In this case, I saw a squirrel right away, and as I usually do, I missed it. But that's how it goes sometimes.
Huh?
So now it's Eric's turn, and he's trying to shoot, and he will do the same as me. He lines up his shot out in front of us, and he misses. And that all happened really quick.
I still see him.
We were there not that long at all, maybe
He's confused.
within 15 minutes of sitting down and kind of waiting. So we just sat still, and the more I looked, the more I saw even more squirrels, and you can see I'm kind of lining up trying to see if I can get a shot, but I don't.
Oh, yeah, he just jumped.
So I see about 3 of them, I think, at that point.
Oh, there's 3 of them.
Yeah, I guess I see 3 of them.
There's 2 more up there.
And so we just kind of waited until maybe they came a little closer and we can get a better shot. As it turns out, I didn't get a better shot. I just kind of watched Eric get a better shot, and he makes one heck of a shot.
Yes.
Looks like the squirrel just jumped right off the tree. It was reasonably good footage considering this was all with my GoPro.
Okay, this is a lesson. When you know you killed something, you got to keep looking. And we probably spent a good 45 minutes or more looking for this squirrel, and we found it. And it was buried along a tree. And it was hit extremely well. It's right there. And it dropped like a ton of bricks. It shows you the power of the 25 caliber air rifle. You're going to eat that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure
You are.
I'm going to have to eat it. But I'm going to turn its tail into a fly. So that's one of the things I'm going to do. But that was a good shot. So I'm glad it ended well. I'm glad we found it because I knew we got it. When it fell that dead, there was no way.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good note to end on, I think.
So back yet another week, and this time I'm hunting. I'm the only hunter, but I brought my friend Rabu with me.
I'll sit over here.
And he is turned out to be, he wanted to just kind of see what it was all about. And the thought of eating squirrels to him seemed pretty distasteful. So he was interested, though, to see how it went. And it turned out he has an amazing eye for spotting those squirrels, much better than mine. And I was very glad he was with me that day. Well, I saw a squirrel come right down the tree right about now, and it crawled down across the grass and up another tree. You can kind of see where the arrow is. Saw its tail flicked. It just disappears. So I didn't know if I hit it or not because it just disappeared. But it turned out I missed. I went and looked, couldn't find it, and truthfully, it really just disappeared. And as I looked more carefully, I could see, in fact, it was definitely a miss. Now he spots a squirrel and finally gets me onto it.
I see it.
And
I see it. This is where I'm going to need your help.
Here's where we make our plan to do a little stalk.
He's up in that tree right there. And we have to get it so that he turns to my side so I can shoot. Oh, there he is. Okay, I see where he is. Wow. That would be a tough shot.
In a kind of embarrassing turn of events, I shoot like 5 times at that squirrel, and it went running down, and we just could not find it after that, so I gave up. Didn't take long. Rob, you spotted a squirrel right away.
Crotch of the tree.
And
I see it.
I see it.
Oh, jeez.
And you'll see I shoot at it, and it appears as though I hit it. Look at the way the squirrel falls. Yeah, so
I hit him.
After I observed it,
I think I hit
did a
him.
little post-mortem on it.
Dang it.
Because I did get it. I found out that I
You
didn't
move,
hit
no
it.
move.
I think I must have just hit close to it and it took a dive. But then it gave me a headshot. And you can see I make it. And so I go behind the tree and I go to retrieve it. It happened to be right on the water's edge. And it was still kicking a little bit, and it falls into the water. And as it's kicking, I almost lost it, but I got it. I was glad I went right to it, and I managed to miss another
right in the
squirrel.
mouth.
In fact, I hit it
Went
and
right
it
in his
ran
head.
into a hole before I could get it, which I felt really bad about that. And I did get one more squirrel that day. So up until this point, I have yet to have shot the .177 and successfully bagged a squirrel. So I thought, hey, I'm going to go out and try that. And so I sat for a while in an area that I've had luck with squirrels and no luck. And then I decided to go to my secret honey hole tree. I actually had just recently discovered it and used my 410, which will be in some other videos. And I've taken 8 squirrels total this year out of this tree. Up until this point, I took 6. So there's your hint. I'm going to take 2 out of this tree. And so as I'm looking, I see one squirrel. It's not in the big tree. It's in the little brush off on the side. And so as I'm observing this, then I see a different squirrel, and it shows up in the bigger tree. And I get a shot at it. And it seems you can just see its head poking out right now, right there. Do you see its head? Watch when I shoot. The head disappears, and of course I miss. It seems like I just miss a lot, especially on my first shooting opportunities. But that will soon change because I miss no more in this particular video, and this will be the last video of this episode, by the way. But you see where the arrow's pointing? Here I'm looking for the one squirrel, and where that arrow is pointing is a squirrel sitting on a small little branch, and I still haven't seen it. There, the arrow's pointing at it again. You can just see it right there. And I spent a fair amount of time, and I edited this so you didn't have to see all the time I spent. That squirrel sat there the entire time, and it's funny how after watching this video how obvious it was. But eventually I catch on. I'm still trying to get at that other squirrel, and then, well, hear my expression.
Oh my gosh. That is a sitting duck squirrel if I can hit it.
And there I go. You can see the squirrel is just sitting right there. And one clean shot with the .177, and it drops like a ton of bricks. And as it turns out, it was dead. And in the meantime, though, I've been thinking about that other squirrel that I saw. And I didn't want to take too many squirrels because at this point, I think out of the season, I've taken, that was my 7th squirrel out of that particular tree. It's the first one with the air rifle, though. And so now I get trying to get some shots off at this squirrel, and it kept coming out and barking at me and stuff. So I decided I'm just going to pretend like I'm going to leave. And I went and sat on this little fire lane, and I just waited for it. And it didn't take long at all before that squirrel came out. And I saw it, and, well, I'll let you watch what happens.
Okay, I see him.
There's the squirrel. You see the little black there. I hit it. And
I know I hit it.
I could hear it hit.
Gosh,
You can
did I
hear
do
a
it?
distinct thud. But I didn't know how well I hit it. I was trying to shoot for the head, and it turns out I didn't. I hit.
That I heard hit.
You'll see pretty soon as you watch what will happen is the squirrel's going to fall. So in the meantime, I'm planning how am I going to get another shot at it, and I'm reloading, and I'm thinking what happened. Did I miss it? miss a vital. I mean, that's always the thing you never want to do. And I thought I had a pretty clean shot at it, and I thought I took a clean shot. And it turns out I was right. I did.
Oh, there he goes.
It fell out of the tree.
You know I got him.
And I was able to get it pretty quickly. Turned out to be a big old buck squirrel, and I was happy to recover it so quickly. And even though I thought there was still at least one more squirrel on that particular day there, it turns out that I decided to leave it for another day. And so you can see that's how I know it's a buck squirrel, by the way.
Okay.
And so, not bad. Took my
2 squirrels.
.177 out, and I shot 3
I shot
times.
him right through here.
Got 2 squirrels.
See.
I really like how this .177 is behaving, and I plan to use it in the future, taking one of my friend's kids out hunting for squirrels, and he really wants to try. He's eaten squirrel and really liked it, which I found funny, but now he wants to get out with the air rifle and see how he can do.